So next we have a question from Phil. I've recently signed up for the Austrian Ironman and was wondering what are the best clip-on bars to look at, or should I get a dedicated tri-bike? Also, if either of you had any tips in this field, that would be greatly appreciated. I'm riding a Condor Altec Plus frame with Data Zero 100 compact bars, 38mm. Cheers. Well, this is my old world, so yeah, I've definitely got experience.
Oh no,
in
but
this.
I'm the only one that's done an Ironman in here. So
You've done an Ironman?
yeah, full Ironman.
Have you?
Yeah.
He ran it in flip-flops.
I forgot my shoes, so I ran in flip-flops.
Do you not know about this?
No. What?
A story for another day.
No, it's a story for now. Why did you do that?
Well, I didn't want to. I was in the army at the time. I was in the army at the time when I got offered a trip to South Africa to go and do Ironman. Short notice. Didn't get much time to train for it. Got there, borrowed a bike. I actually rented a ladies' wetsuit the day before because that's the only thing I could get. And somehow forgot to leave my shoes in the bag that you put in the day before. So I finished bike leg. This is a very short version. Got in, realized I didn't have any shoes to run with. I'm a size 13 shoe. And some kid sitting next to me gave me a set of size 9 flip-flops. And I stuck them on and ran the Ironman.
And you did it. You did a marathon.
I finished all the doing it is.
Did you actually keep the... Am I right in saying that you grew up in South Africa, and I don't know whether it's a joke that people say about you or not. Did you not wear shoes for a long period
didn't
of
wear
your
shoes
childhood?
in school or anything until about 13, 14.
So would it not have just been easier to not wear shoes?
Yes, barefoot would have been much better for me in hindsight. But at that point, I'd been in England for a while. My feet became soft.
Okay.
And I was more worried about glass and thorns and things like that. And also just wear and tear on my feet of running a marathon.
But presumably
barefoot.
half of your foot was still hanging off these 9.
Off the back, yes.
Yeah.
So obviously the middle of the flip-flops tore through my toes. After the first lap, I put a pair of socks on that I went over my feet just inside the shoe. But
was it a full Ironman? You
full
did
Ironman,
a marathon?
Full marathon.
Christ.
I got 5 stress fractures on my foot. Oh, on both there, 3 in one and 2 in the other one, from the way your toes grip onto flip-flops to run.
I remember you telling me about this, and you said something like, if you didn't complete it, you would have got into so much trouble that you just had to get it finished.
Well, you're in the army, like it's called bad admin for getting your shoes. So I thought, I could get bad admin by not doing shoes or complete it and look like I had loads of determination done it, but obviously ruined my feet in any way.
And then got a medical discharge.
So, I was never going to be a fast runner,
really.
but it took me 7 hours to get around the marathon. I ran the first 2 laps, went fairly well. And then by the 3rd lap, I was just limping around and stumbled across. I was ruined. Anyway.
So should we go back to the question?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So the difference between getting clip-on bars and a dedicated TT bike is many thousands of pounds. So I would definitely say start with clip-on TT bars and see how you get on with them. I know Redshift do quite an interesting one. I can't even remember how much it's cost, but you can clip it on and off. So even if you just leave the mounts on, you can clip the extensions on whenever you want to train on them. USC, which is also exposure lights, they used to do one, and I had a set many years ago. I'm sure there's tons of companies out there now which are doing clip-on TT bars. Definitely start there, in my opinion, and probably go cheap because you might find you hate them. Or what you might do is learn the type of bar that you might like. For example, when I use clip-ons, a lot of clip-on bars back then used to come with straight bars, which puts my wrists in a horribly uncomfortable position. So I wanted to get, I think they're called praying mantis bars, where it like turns up at the end instead. But I'm sure it's come on a long way from when I was buying them. I wouldn't say get a dedicated TT bike if you're just doing one Ironman, because there's just no point. Get some clip-ons, see how you get on with them.
That's the one and only ever triathlon I've done. I will never do one again. So it would have been a massive waste of money of buying,
Someone once said to me a guy I used to train with, Di Woodsford, is a massive long distance triathlete, has done Norseman and just loads and loads of stuff. One of the first times I ever rode with him, and I was just like, I don't know how you do this, like really, really long distance stuff. And he said to me, an Ironman is basically an eating competition. It isn't actually about any of the, you can ride the distance, you can run the distance, assuming you've done some training. The important thing is you eat consistently, you eat enough, and if you do, you're going to keep going.
It goes beyond that as well, because obviously I didn't train properly for mine, but all I got told repeatedly, and it did work, was work out what your max heart rate is. Don't go over 75% at all, but also try to not go under 65%. Just sit in that sweet spot. Don't worry about who overtakes you, or if somebody, don't fall into the trap of trying to race anybody. You're racing against yourself. If it's your first one trying out, stick to 70 to 75% of your heart rate for everything, no matter what. And that'll be the most efficient. Every time you go over that 75 or into your lactate threshold, you are going to burn matches that you're going to pay for when you're running. And remember your shoes.
You can also go lower than 65 if you want.
You can, but what I mean is, I'm trying to say if you want to optimize your time, because lower than 65 is not going to benefit you. It's just going to be slower.
I think that's speculation. It's going to be based on many factors. The point is, go easy, but not too easy. Yeah. Definitely don't go hard. Don't burn your matches.
Remember your shoes.
Keep sending us your stories, questions, and fun stuff to wildonespodcast@cademedia.co.uk.